Hey, what's up everybody? This is Coach Ryan C, and on this episode we're going to be talking about the gear you need for triathlon. Okay, so first things first, there is kind of a lot of gear that you're going to need / want for triathlon. Reason why, there's 3 sports. That's just how it is. A lot of people get a ton of gear and go way overboard, stuff they don't need, stuff they don't know how to use, cost a lot of money that are going to save them just a couple seconds here and there. You really don't need that much, but there is a little bit more than maybe you might think. So I'm going to talk about each of the 3 sports. We're going to have what you absolutely need, and then things that are nice to have, or things that you might spend your extra money on. Then we're also going to talk about what you need for a race, and then some tech gear that you may or may not decide that you actually need. So swimming, bare minimum, what you need is a place to swim. That could be a lake, that could be your gym, maybe your school has a pool, somewhere. You need a place to swim because most of us don't have a swimming pool in our backyard. If you do, you can use that, but it's probably not big enough to really get enough training in. So first thing you need is a pool. Second thing you need is goggles. You just do. You just need goggles. Third, and probably maybe last thing you need is a swimsuit. Things that are great to have when you're training. These would be things that maybe you buy when you have a little bit extra money you want to spend. Maybe you want to take your swimming to the next level. A couple training tools that would be really good. Number one, so the first thing I would get for swimming that would be in this category, gear that's nice to have, would be some hand paddles. These specific hand paddles force you to put your hand in the water the right way so that they don't fly off. So, hand paddles. Next would be a pull buoy. It helps you float a little bit. Number one, you don't kick while you're using it. Helps you isolate your stroke a little bit more and focus on your core. This scary contraption is for those that are a little more advanced. They're ankle straps around your ankles, and it doesn't allow you to kick. Actually, it makes it really hard to swim because you can't use your legs, so your legs sink. You have to work really hard when you're using these because you're going to sink. Maybe make sure that you're a pretty decent swimmer before you try these, or else a lifeguard might have to say. It's definitely under the gear that's just kind of cool to have. Don't waste your money on it if you don't have the money for it. Is a tempo trainer. So this is what it sounds like. This is what it looks like. You put this under your swim cap, like maybe next to your ear or somewhere. Okay, I'll shut this off. A good way to practice raising your cadence is to do it in a controlled way. Normal cadence, you go out there and you're 70 beats a minute. Well, you'll probably be a faster swimmer if you can raise that to 75, 76, 80. A good way to do that is to do that in a controlled way and go out there and just raise it by maybe 1 stroke a minute, 2 strokes a minute. Get used to that. Now you're up to 72. Another 2 strokes a minute. Now you get used to 74. And this just helps with that. Totally unnecessary if you're just starting, but one of those that's just kind of cool to have. Okay, moving on to the bike. Things you absolutely need. A bike. And no, you don't need a super fancy time trial triathlon bike. All you need is one that has 2 wheels. No, but seriously, you don't need a really nice bike. The bike is the most expensive part of triathlon. You can pay up to $10,000 for a bike. Second thing you need is a helmet. You have to have a helmet. You're going to need an air pump, and you're also going to need a water bottle probably, because you're probably going to be going on longer rides. Moving on to things that are nice to have. Bike shoes. These particular ones are clipless. So what that means is actually kind of backwards, but they have cleats that go into pedals and they clip in. Get a good pair. You can wear them for like 20 years. Bike shoes should never wear out. If you get a pair that fits, you're not going to be rubbing anywhere that's going to cause a whole lot. The only reason why you might need new ones is if you crash. I've crashed a couple times. You can see a few places where they're just a little banged up, but They're not bad. I actually got these used on eBay. They were selling new for like over $200, and I got them for less than half of that. If you buy shoes off eBay, pour a whole bunch of like vinegar and baking soda in there and just let them sit for a while and scrub them, and they're gonna be fine. These are specifically made for triathlon. You clip them on your bike and they sit like this, and then when you get to your bike, you just jump in, you do this, good to go. Next thing is you're gonna want some bike shorts and a jersey. A lot of times these are called bibs, but you're really gonna want something spandex, breathable, has a pad in there, because you're gonna be spending a lot of time on your bike if you're training for a triathlon, and that just really helps a lot. Getting a nice jersey really helps wick the sweat off your skin, just good to have. Plus you'll look cooler. Maybe one of the worst things while you're riding a bike is getting a bug in your eye or some dust or dirt or something. Get some sunglasses. They'll protect you from the sun, but they'll also protect you from everything else that's out there. If you want to do more and trick out your bike, the possibilities are endless. You can dump thousands of dollars, 10 seconds faster here, 5 seconds faster here, 30 grams lighter here. There's tons of options. A couple of them are getting some nice wheels. The wheels behind me on the wall right there are made by a company called Flow. I absolutely love them. They're full carbon, super light. As soon as I got them and put them on my bike, I noticed a massive difference. And when I say massive, I just mean that they felt better when I was riding. That I noticed there was a noticeable difference while riding. It just felt better. So there's a lot of reasons why you can get a new set of wheels. Don't let someone on the internet or a company tell you that you're going to save a ton of time over the course of an Ironman, 112 miles. It might save you like 6 to 10 minutes. A set of bike wheels is probably something down the line. Maybe you buy that later. Something I would buy before a set of wheels though is a power meter. Probably the single most important thing that you can buy for your bike to help you training and racing. I'm not kidding. There's so much more data that I can look at. I can really target specific workouts for them, create really specific training plans. You can build a massive set of data from your power meter over the course of a season to really see how you're improving. What a power meter does is it measures the exact amount of force that you're applying to the pedals. It's an objective number. It doesn't matter how fast you're going. It doesn't matter how much you weigh. It doesn't matter if you're going uphill or downhill. It measures how much force you're putting on the pedals. You know that from your training, you know exactly what you can do. You know you can run off of this. You know you can do it because it's an objective number. It's not like heart rate or speed or cadence, which are very subjective to whatever else is going on around you, or how your day has been, or what kind of coffee you had in the morning. Power is power. It doesn't change. It is what it is. It's objective. The single best thing that you can buy for your bike training for triathlon is a power meter. The only problem is they're really expensive. I bought a used one off eBay. I got a steal. I don't think the guy knew what he was selling, so look for deals on eBay. Moving on to running. You're obviously going to need some running shoes. I'm an ambassador for Ultra, but I've actually been wearing Ultra shoes much longer than I've been an ambassador for them, but I like them the best. You decide what fits your foot the best. One thing that I really want to touch on with shoes is you have to keep track of your miles. Best way to do this is on the Strava app. On Strava, you can plug in the shoes that you have, and it'll keep track for you how many miles are on your shoes based off of how many miles you're actually running. You want to keep track of it because most shoes support starts to break down after about 400 or 500 miles, and you really don't want to run on shoes that are just broken down and not supporting your feet well anymore, because that's how you can develop injuries. And a lot of times they're not injuries that you see coming. They're injuries that are kind of like a slow burn injury, where it just over time you develop pain and it's really small at the beginning, and then it gets worse, and then all of a sudden you have something really bad going on with your knee or your ankle, or you've got plantar fasciitis, and that sucks. So keep track of the miles on your shoes. Replace them every 400 or 500 miles. It's also a fun excuse to go get new shoes. And if you run a lot, you can get new shoes like every 4, 5, 6 weeks. Things that are nice to have: sunglasses, hat, some nice shorts, nice tank top, whatever. That stuff's obvious. Okay, moving on to tech. Number one thing I would say here is get a GPS watch. I have a Garmin Fenix 3. It does all the sports. It does swimming, it does cycling, it does running. Wear it during a triathlon, hit a button, and it'll move to the next sport. It's an awesome watch. Number two, get a heart rate monitor. There's a couple different kinds out there. There's kinds like these that go across your chest, and there's kinds like these, optical, and they actually shine a light into your skin, and somehow it reads your heartbeat. I'm one of the people that I really love looking at it because it gives you a pretty decent measurement of how hard your body's working. Other great tools to have are cadence sensors for bike and run. For the bike, it's a little magnet that you clip onto your crank. It measures how many revolutions per minute you're pedaling. For the run, sometimes they're built into a watch. If you don't have that, you can get a little foot pod that you clip onto your shoe. It measures how many steps per minute you're taking. Really great data to have that you and your coach can discuss, or you can look at, and we'll talk about that in a later episode as well. Next thing that's really awesome to have is a dedicated bike computer. Actually, this is an old one, this is a new one, because when you're training for a triathlon, especially if you're training for an Ironman, you're going to be on your bike a lot. There's going to be a lot of rides where you're out there for 5 or 6 hours or more. And it's really nice to have a bike computer that actually sits right on your handlebars, so you can just look down. You don't have to take your eyes that far off the road. You don't have to do any twisting and turning. If you have a watch to twist and turn and look at it, because you're going to be looking at your data a lot, especially if your coach has given you specific zones to train in, speeds, or power to hit. Along with that, something that you can pair with your bike computer, and this is for safety. This is a bike light that you put on the back of your bike, and it communicates to your bike computer. Number one, it's a flashing red light for cars behind you, but also what it does, it has a radar on it, and it tells your bike computer if there's a car behind you, so you don't have to twist and turn anymore to look behind you. Very great product. I can't tell you how much safer I felt the minute I put it on my bike and the first car passed. It was amazing. Alright, moving on. What do you need for race day? Not a whole lot that you don't already have. One thing would be a race belt. You don't really need this because every race gives you your bib number and safety pins that you can just pin on your shirt, but it is really nice to have a race belt that you can put your race number on so that you can just make a really fast transition, just clip your belt on and go. And the last thing I would say that's nice to have on race day is a dedicated running water bottle. The reason why is so that if you have a specific nutrition plan going into your race, like I do, like I only drink Tailwind, I don't drink the other gross stuff that's on the course. The great thing about having a dedicated running water bottle is that you can take small sips along the way. You don't have to wait until the next aid station and take a huge chug of water or whatever the other stuff is. You can take small sips throughout the way. It's a lot easier for your body to process, and it's something that it just works for me. So that's it. We talked about gear you need for triathlon, what you absolutely need, what's nice to have for swimming, biking, running, and racing. We talked about a lot of tech things as well. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, let me know. If there's something I missed, let me know about that too. I can talk about it in a future episode. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. It's coming soon.